Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sara's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sara Troy. Facts. What do we believe and what don't we believe? It is now coming out so much information on the COVID virus. Where did it start? Why did it start? Has it been around for a long time? What is it really? Are we being effective against it? Are the things we're doing being detrimental? There are so many conversations out there right now amongst various scientists. And of course, all we're looking at is when can we get out and get about life again? But I think we need to kind of take a breath, don't you? Here am I posting on selfdiscoverymedia.com, Sara's View of Life. What are the facts? What is fiction? You will see some links to some various conversations that are going on amongst various scientists or doctors. And I ask you to listen for yourself and, come to your own conclusion. But let's look at some facts. Corona, is a virus. Apparently, it's been around for a very long time. All viruses have a shelf life, so to speak. They last around 18 months or so. It can take up to 2 years before they kind of burn out. In the past, people have brought around vaccines and said the vaccines cured them. But when you look at historically at any form of pandemic, it has a timetable. And that timetable is something that kind of, it has its own clock. And it will peak and it will grab as many people as it can, and then it burns out. So how much of this is part of kind of nature's world? I mean, viruses are everywhere. They're in our bodies all the time. It's that balance, that equilibrium. We have good bacteria, bad bacteria, and both are very important. It's when you get that bacteria that starts eating all the good bacteria and not living in it side by side that we have a problem. We've seen the corona manifest itself in so many different ways, in children coming out in these rashes and respiratory. In other people, it hits the gut. In other people, it hits the body. Of course, it does attack the lungs. Some doctors say the respirators are making that worse. And there's a lot of conversation and conflict out there. But so the virus has been around for a long time. And like MERS and like SARS and like, the Spanish flu and like the 1918 pandemic, they come in and they swoop out. And is this nature's way of balancing, of, okay, the world's getting too heavy, let's lighten it up? Are there other lessons to be learned here? So in my opinion, yes, there are other lessons to be learned here. The body is going to do what the body does, and our best defense with the body is a good immune system. If you are compromised, then you are compromised against this virus, and it will go in and attack whatever's the weakest of you. I'm an asthmatic, I have fibromyalgia. Yes, it will have fun in my body. I won't have fun with it. So for me, it's common sense, distancing, wearing a mask, washing my hands, wearing gloves when I go into a public place, and just being sensible, rather like the flu. I don't want to catch the flu that goes around in case it leads to bronchitis. So the same thing that I will do with yearly flus and things like this is just keep my distance from sick people and hygiene, but not give in to the fear, even though I know it's at the back of our minds, the worry, but the what if. And it's like, if you keep your immune strong, and if you keep that positivity and that vibration high, COVID will go to the weakest. And keeping that immune system is the best defense for anything. anything, COVID or anything else. So a lot of people are talking conspiracy, that this was let out of the lab to create more sickness so that whoever comes up with the vaccine will make more money. Then you've got people who look at it and say they're going to make the vaccination mandatory. Then they're talking about chips being in the vaccination so people can follow you, Big Brother. There's a lot going on. And you know what? There's a truth to every single bit of it. But where do we give the power? That's the thing, is that the moment we become afraid of this, the moment we let go of our own voice and our own bodies and our own choices. Now, I am not saying that the people out there in Michigan and carrying their guns, wearing Ku Klux Klan gowns, and so it's my right and I'm not going to wear a mask, shooting people, beating people up for being told to wear a mask. No, that is just totally immoral behavior. That is just bullying, and that's hysteria, and that is something they have to be accountable for. This has got nothing to do with what's true, what's not true. It is just deplorable behavior, full stop. But we do have to kind of look at it and go, okay, we don't know enough. If we took all the information that we've heard from everybody and we put it all out on the table, what's the common denominator? Yes, it's a virus. Yes, it's aggressive. Yes, it will go after the weakness in the body. Yes, it primarily attacks the lungs. But as to where it came from, how long it's been around, what is the defense against it, those are the things that are still very much up in the air. We've heard massive doses of vitamin C, vitamin B, and various other things of keeping your immune system strong. So yes, go that way. What harm is it going to do to boost your immune system with some good old nutrients, eating well, getting the exercise wherever you can? Go for that walk. Just don't go for a walk on a beach with 20,000 people, right? If you want to go for a swim, go somewhere where you can go for a swim, but avoid as many people as you can. And when you are mixing with people and friends, make sure that all of them have followed the same protocol as you, and that you respect each other. You value each other, and you just don't want to give anybody anything. I think the way we look at flu season, tell people to go to work, just take a pill, mask it, and carry on working and snotting and sneezing all over everybody, it's just as detrimental. Just as many people die every year, perhaps maybe not quite so much because they have the flu shots that also has some negativity. And some people are allergic to it, like me, and does it really work for others? That's again, it's out, out there on the verdict. Does it work or not work? We know that there's a lot of people that are anti-vaccine, and I am, to a point, because I know now that they're adding so much to the vaccines, and making it that it's mandatory, that the body cannot cope with it. And if a body is slightly weakened, it weakens that body even further and causes too many other problems. So, vaccines like polio and this and that, I did a show on that. Childhood shots, please go back and listen to it. We did a 4-part series on that. And again, take all of this information and lay it out. Find somebody rational to speak with that's also read it all, and have a conversation that doesn't go around hysteria, you're wrong and I'm right and who do you think you are? No, put it all out on the table, because there is truth in absolutely everything that is going out there, except bleach, folks. No, digesting bleach will not do it. By putting it all out on the table, and like a feast, you're not going to eat everything at that table. You're going to take various portions of the dishes to make a meal. So take various facts that make sense to you, and anything that's a question mark, leave as a question mark. It doesn't mean it's wrong because you disagree. It just means is that you haven't got enough data on that right now to actually decide for yourself whether you agree with it or not, and that the verdict is out on that. And then you look at some things and just go, no, I'm not buying that at all. There isn't enough science behind it. There isn't enough common sense behind it to believe it. So, it's People started throwing their pets from the balconies because somebody said they can get it from their pets. The bats, where we know now that most certainly came from a lab, whether it was something that it was an antivirus for corona, which is prone in China, that went wrong, or whether it was espionage, we don't know. But what I'm saying is keep an open mind. Keep an open mind to the information you're getting without getting emotional about it. Keep an open mind to the facts and even the fiction out there, what is deemed to be something you comprehend that you can live with. And if there's something that you just simply don't understand or you can't go there, okay, shelf it. Maybe one day it will come to light in a way that you can understand it or it makes sense, but right now, put it up there on the shelf. Don't buy into every comment or conspiracy. As I said, lay it out, deduce for yourself. Get a few rational people around you and have a discussion. Please keep it calm, not heated. Okay? Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you want people's opinions who have at least read or listened or learned the most that they can learn and have a respectful conversation. And whether we're talking COVID or any other diseases out there, shouldn't this be the kind of way we converse over everything? I mean, you have politics and it's black and white, wrong and right. Everybody has a point of view that has some merit in it. But where is it coming from? What are they really wanting to do? And could it be done better without dividing? You see, ultimately, who does it serve? Is it serving the people? Does it benefit the masses? Is it something that will help growth, spiritual growth, physical growth, financial growth? Is it something that serves the many or just serves the few? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from a base of understanding and knowledge? And I'm not talking all academics and ABBs and DBBs and master's degrees and all of that. I'm talking about, does the knowledge hit with you in truth? If you're not a scientist and somebody's talking science to you, then it's going to be gobbledygook. But if it's a scientist that's dedicated their life to something, then I guess I'm going to listen because they've got something to say. And listen to another scientist or another doctor and deduce. So why can't we do that with everything else? All these politicians out there, is there some merit in what they're trying to do, but you don't like the way they're doing it? The same in your company where you work, same in your family. You have different points of view in your family. Is it something that you put on the table and go, look, this is my perspective. I would like to know yours. Now let's shift it around and see it from each other's angle and see if we can understand better where we're coming from. It's not about he's right, she's right, you're wrong, I hate you, go to hell. Because we know that's unproductive. It's going to get us nowhere other than division, negative energy. But if it's like, look, my core belief is this, your core belief is that, let's look for the common denominator there. Are we all saying the same thing, but from a different perspective in a different language? See, I think we're unwilling to take in the data, to absorb it, to chew it over, to come to our own conclusions, or to have a conversation with someone that doesn't turn into something that is negative and conflicting. We've become very angst, very judgmental, very angry, quick to anger over everything. And perhaps if we took that deep breath, and perhaps if we were willing to open up. Now, I know what my core beliefs are. I know what I'm willing to do and not to do. I know what I am about. But I learn every day with the people that I interview. There's something else that I get to see a different perspective of, from a different point of view. But are the people that I'm interviewing and I'm bringing to you have a central core belief? Yes. And that belief is love of self, love of community, love of what they do, and love of the people that they bring it to. There is a commitment and a compassion and a passion behind what they do. And it's here to serve us all. And so those are the people I celebrate. Not self-serving, but at the same time, serving self so you can serve others. So our perspectives, our point of views, our words, our tone is all going to be the way we present ourselves and how other people are going to listen or not listen. So let's look at this COVID right now. Some are saying we've got to stay indoors a few more weeks or months. I do believe in the slow integration, but not just from the COVID point of view. I think a slow integration where we can actually appreciate in gratitude sitting at a restaurant, meeting with some friends, having a hug with your family, just the small things in life that we so took for granted. Because I want this to be instilled in us. We got very complacent. We got very selfish. And we didn't appreciate the storekeepers. We didn't appreciate our first responders. We didn't appreciate our street cleaners. We didn't appreciate our medical staff. We didn't appreciate the caregivers. You know, they were just there to serve us. And so many of them receive abuse and they do not receive a good salary. And yet, look at that. They're the ones that have stepped up. And many of them have paid with it with their lives. But they have family to feed or community to serve, and they stepped up. I think at the end of all of this, when this is all over, the conspiracies are going off in a different direction and there's something else to talk about. I think what the biggest lesson here is respect and gratitude. Respecting those that step up, no matter who or where they come from. Their value, their enrichment, their abundance is not based on their Fortune 500 profile. It's the way they've given, the way they've shared, the way they've stepped up. And I love to see all the companies and the individuals that are making meals or that are dropping people's rent for a month or two, or our government here in Canada subsidizing us. Just people who are stepping up for other people. You know, the companies that are putting money out there, the people that are paying their own staff out of their own money so that they stay employed. This is the exemplariness. This is the wonderment of ours as a human nature of how we can step up and be for each other. We're going to look at the people who profiteered out of this. We're going to look at the people who gouged. We're going to look at the people who didn't bother to step up and help the community. And we're going to say, you know, no, mate, I'm going with the people that were there for us in gratitude, in respect, and in support. So whatever we're doing now is good public relations. And it's building communities. It's building a strong society. And I pray this is something we keep up. It's not just like Christmas. We're all very, giving at Christmas and then it's over. I pray that we keep on this sense of community, this sense of giving, this sense of caring, this sense of igniting and lighting and empowering each other. Because this is the best of humanity that's come out here. The best. There will always be those that kind of the scum. Anybody who gets out there and harms someone else because of their own ignorance, their own fear, their own entitlement, are scum. And we're seeing a lot of that scum rise to the surface right now. So let's scoop it off. And let's look at the people and feed the people and support the people that have been there for the people. Because let us not forget, this is the way we need to continue. This needs to be a practice, a lifestyle practice of the way we're going to continue to live. Despite what this virus is, yet another virus or yet another pandemic, there will be more down the road. COVID could show its face again. It may mutate into something else. This is the nature, of things going wrong. We know for a fact before COVID came along that chemicalization is changing the chemistry of our body and weakening our immune systems. We know the chemicals that we use are detrimental to us. We know the chemicals that are out there, like Roundup, etc., that is out there, pesticides that are out there on our vegetables and on our fruit and everything else that we digest is bad for us. So let us, when this COVID thing is over, not get complacent, but really look at our practices and say, well, how do I buy my food? Where do I buy my food? What is it covered with? How do I clean it? How do I put good stuff inside of me? Nutrients, good food, and let's not forget good exercise and fresh air. How do I keep my mental well-being? Because believe me, we now are going to have a depression epidemic. For people who have not only been isolated, but have been scared, have been vulnerable, or been left alone. It's and then we're going to have the post-traumatic stress from all the first responders with what they've gone through. This isn't over, folks. Even if the virus was gone tomorrow, there's repercussions, the economic ones, the emotional ones. But let's keep our humanity all the way through this, please. Let's keep our humanity. So look at the facts that are scientifically based and found. Look at the perspectives of how other people see those facts. Chew it over yourself and think for yourself. And let us look at what can we do about it. Well, we can be mindful of how we conduct our business around other people, because we don't know if we're passing someone that's vulnerable. That's somebody in the grocery store that's vulnerable, or maybe they don't know they're vulnerable, or maybe they don't know they're a carrier. So we still got to be cautious and careful on this, because there isn't enough understood about the treatment of COVID. And vaccine, far away, and vaccines should be tested over a few years to actually know if there are any side effects or detriments. And having a regime coming along and saying everybody has to be vaccinated, and then there's talks of chips going in the vaccinations so they can keep Big Brother on you. And let us look at that and go, no. The vaccine there, let us try and test it, and let's make sure that it is safe, and do not impose it on people. There is this thing in the world called free will. And anytime any government or anybody dictates that you have to, then it becomes a dictatorship. On the other hand, if you are asked to wear a mask, wash your hands, and don't go around near anybody who's sick, that is common sense, and that is to be something you are obliged to do so that you don't harm anyone else or get harmed yourself. So, me rights are taken away from me. No, nobody's taking away your rights. We're trying to save lives. We're trying to deal with something that's rather invisible, that nobody really understands because it mutates and changes so much. There's so much chatter out there, and there is so much fake news. Politicians need to step out of the picture here and let the doctors and the scientists step up and speak to the facts as they know them, as they admit we really don't know enough here. So let's support them and stop listening to the fake news or egocentric politicians that want to just be in the news every 5 seconds giving the wrong news. I will place my hands in the people that are working on it. Immunologists and scientists and doctors that have spent their lifetime working on it. But I want to know also they're telling the truth. So the more people that you listen to, and the more you see of the cross opinions, where they're all saying this, they're all looking at that, then you know that's a common denominator. They're all on the page, because we don't know if any of them particularly have their own agenda. Are they associated with the vaccine? Are they associated with the pharmaceutical? Are they being dictated by politicians? We don't know that. And that, again, is the more we listen, the more we learn, the more we can deduce that. So please listen with an open mind. Don't get worked up about it. Remember, common sense prevails, respect for others, and what is the gift that's being given you to take forward in this new norm? because we're not going back to the old norm, or nor are we meant to, because Mama Earth is watching us and she's saying, don't you dare get out there and abuse me again. And unfortunately, we've had beaches in Vancouver, beaches in Florida and Michigan, and thousands of people out there, and what do? They just leave their garbage. They've learned nothing. They have still no self-respect or respect for anyone else. It's always somebody else can clean up my mess. Well, I'm afraid that paradigm and that attitude has to go, because we're not going to tolerate it anymore. So although most of the world has stepped up in respect, in compliance, in doing the best they can for others and for themselves, we do have those that just basically give us the middle finger. And we pray that they will not infect other people, but we know for a fact they will. And whatever death they cause is on their hands. It's a heavy one, I know. I know we've been living in this for a while now. But, we have to understand we're more afraid of the unsureness. And, of course, the fact that jobs and money and all of that, where is it coming next? But all of it will eventually find its balance. We will get back to that equilibrium. This is a test of our strength, a test of our courage, a test of our compassion, a test of our compliance, a test of how we see what opportunities are coming out of this to be better, to do better, to be true to ourselves, and to maybe make the changes that we are needing to make in order to make life better. So, I wish it could have been a lighter show this week, but I'm afraid I was compelled to do this. I'm going to post all the things on there on the show page. So just, selfdiscoverymedia.com, go to Sara's View of Life, and you will see it there. And it's, know the facts, deduce the fiction, and really do your research before you jump to conclusions. I do not at all claim to understand a magnitude of it or even a minor of it. All I know is what I need to do, and also to understand that there are so many different views on things, and all of those views are deemed right by the people who are presenting them. And it's really, as I say, look at the common thread. And to understand that sometimes not knowing things is okay, but still trusting the process and going through it to get through to the other side. So keep positive. Keep your immune system strong. Keep laughing, keep singing, keep dancing, do your virtual hugs, reach out to someone every day and have a conversation, get out and get some fresh air, discover something about yourself that you never knew was there, an ability, that things that you can do. Be proactive. And at the same time, be sensible. And if you want to know more, don't just get it from one source, the CNN, Fox News, the pimple into a volcanic eruption. Please don't buy into that. Listen to the doctors and the scientists and understand they don't even truly understand what it is or what to do with it, but also know it will burn out. So the more we isolate, the more that we stay away from it, it won't have hosts to keep growing in. So if we do that, we're giving the COVID the middle finger, and it will burn out and we will thrive again. So, gotta get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart, all the love from my heart to yours. Until next time, be safe out there. Bye for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to bringing you more shows. Please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see the incredible lineup of genres and shows that we have for you. We are here to make a difference in your life. Thank you for listening.